You've probably heard the term Sigma male all over the internet. Some call it a myth. Others think it's the ultimate personality type. A Sigma male is often described as the guy who walks alone, plays by his own rules, and doesn't care what anyone thinks. He doesn't want to be the alpha at the top of the social ladder. He wants to ignore the ladder completely. That sounds cool, right? But the truth is, there's a darker side to this image. When someone fully leans into the Sigma label, they might start acting in ways that don't just make them different, they make them offensive. We're not talking about normal, quiet behavior or healthy independence. We're talking about actions that push people away, cause damage, and come off as cold, arrogant, or even toxic. This video isn't here to hate on anyone. The goal is to break down the kinds of behavior that Sigma males sometimes show, especially when they take the lone wolf mindset too far. It's important to understand these things because even if you don't call yourself a Sigma male, you might still fall into these patterns without realizing it. Or you might know someone who acts this way and you've never been able to explain why it feels off. By the end, you'll have a clearer picture of what makes some Sigma traits cross the line from strong to harmful. You'll see why some of their actions are misunderstood as confidence when they're actually rooted in ego or fear. You'll also get a chance to reflect. Am I doing this? Or is someone in my life showing these signs? Let's dive into the first thing that only Sigma males tend to do and why it offends more people than they realize. Thing number 1. How they dismiss other people's feelings in favor of their lone wolf identity. Sigma males value their independence more than anything. They live by their own rules, and they don't feel the need to follow social norms or emotional expectations. While that sounds like confidence, it can turn into emotional disconnection. A Sigma male might ignore, downplay, or even mock other people's feelings just to stay emotionally separate. They see it as staying strong or being real, but to others it comes off as cold and even cruel. Imagine someone sharing something deeply personal, maybe opening up about anxiety or pain. A Sigma male might respond with silence or say something like, "You just have to get over it." This reaction can feel like a slap in the face to someone who's being vulnerable. It's not that Sigma males mean to be rude, it's that they're used to dealing with their own emotions alone, so they expect everyone else to do the same. This mindset can hurt friendships, relationships, and even work dynamics. People feel unsupported, like they're talking to a wall. Over time, this kind of behavior pushes others away. The Sigma male might not even notice because he thinks he's just living on his own terms. But in reality, he's dismissing real human connection. It's also important to realize that emotions aren't weakness. Recognizing someone else's pain doesn't mean you have to solve it. Sometimes just listening is enough. But Sigma males often avoid that step. They think any emotional involvement will slow them down or distract them. In truth, it takes more strength to sit with someone's feelings than to walk away from them. This rejection of emotion can also be a shield. Sigma males may not feel safe being emotional themselves, so they block it out in others. It becomes a habit: cut off feelings, stay strong, move alone. But in the long run, it creates a lonely and often tense life. People may respect the Sigma male's toughness, but they won't feel close to him. And when things get tough, he'll find there's no one left around to help him carry the load. Thing number 2, how they use independence as a justification to avoid any accountability. One of the biggest traits Sigma males claim is total independence. They don't want to be told what to do, they don't want to be part of a group, and they don't want to answer to anyone. But here's where it gets offensive. Some use this mindset to dodge any responsibility for their actions. Let's say a Sigma male hurts someone's feelings, misses a deadline, or refuses to help out. When called out, his answer might be, "That's just not how I operate," or "I'm not like everyone else." Instead of owning up to a mistake, he hides behind the idea that he's different. That's not independence, that's avoiding consequences. People start to notice this pattern. The Sigma male becomes known as the guy who always makes excuses, never apologizes, and walks away from messes like they're not his problem. This isn't strong leadership or healthy detachment. It's emotional laziness. Independence means you take care of yourself, yes, but it also means you own what you do. You don't get a free pass just because you don't follow the crowd. Another issue is how this shows up in relationships. A Sigma male might pull away when problems come up, saying he needs space. But that space becomes a permanent escape. He avoids hard talks, blames the other person for being too emotional, and eventually leaves without dealing with the fallout. All the while he tells himself that he's just being honest or staying true to himself. But what he's really doing is refusing to face conflict like an adult. This kind of behavior creates frustration and distrust. People feel like they're being used or left behind. In work settings, it can show up as missed team goals or poor communication. In personal life, it looks like broken promises and emotional distance. True independence isn't about avoiding people. It's about being able to stand on your own while still being responsible to others. Sigma males who forget that often end up alone, not because they chose solitude, but because they pushed everyone away to avoid being held accountable. Thing number 3. How they constantly compare themselves as above the social hierarchy and demean others. One of the key beliefs behind the Sigma male idea is that they don't play the same social games as everyone else. They're not interested in being an alpha, a beta, or fitting into any group. On the surface, this sounds like freedom. But it can turn into something more harmful, believing you're better than everyone else and treating others like they're beneath you. This superiority often shows up in subtle ways. A Sigma male might roll his eyes during a team discussion, act bored at social events, or refuse to take advice from anyone. Why? Because deep down he believes most people are just followers, and he's the only one thinking for himself. He sees the world as full of weak minds, while he stands alone as the only one with real clarity. This mindset can be toxic. When someone truly believes they're above the crowd, they stop learning from others. They mock group behavior, dismiss shared values, and treat normal emotional needs like they're flaws. A friend who wants connection is seen as needy. A co-worker who values teamwork is called fake. A leader who tries to unite people is labeled a manipulator. What starts as independence slowly becomes arrogance. And the problem with arrogance is that it isolates you even more. Sigma males often talk about being misunderstood or underappreciated. But it's hard to connect with someone who constantly sends the message, "I'm smarter than you. I don't need you. I'm not like you." Another issue is how this thinking limits growth. When you see yourself as above everyone else, you stop listening. You stop taking feedback. You stop adjusting your behavior, even when it's hurting people. And because Sigma males already place themselves outside the system, they often ignore the effects of their actions on others. This doesn't mean a Sigma male has to start acting like everyone else. But if your mindset includes putting others down to feel powerful, that's not strength. That's insecurity hiding behind fake independence. True strength comes from being able to stand alone without looking down on the people around you. If a Sigma male wants real respect, he has to let go of the idea that he's better than the group. Otherwise, his pride will keep him on the outside, not by choice, but by default. People don't trust someone who constantly makes them feel small. And once that trust is gone, it's almost impossible to rebuild. Thing number 4. How they refuse to collaborate or show vulnerability, turning strength into isolation. Sigma males are often described as self-reliant, silent, and emotionally controlled. They like to work alone and solve problems without help. In small doses, that's admirable. But when taken too far, it becomes isolating and even dangerous. Collaboration is a basic part of life. Whether you're in a job, a relationship, or a community, working with others is how things get done. But Sigma males often avoid collaboration, not because they can't do it, but because they see it as weakness. They believe asking for input makes them dependent. Showing emotion makes them soft. Letting someone in makes them lose control. That kind of thinking creates a wall between them and the rest of the world. Co-workers might find them hard to work with. Partners might feel like they're being kept at arm's length. Friends may feel ignored or unimportant. Over time, the Sigma male ends up doing everything on his own, not because he wants to, but because he's pushed everyone away. Vulnerability is another area where Sigma males struggle. They may believe that showing fear, sadness, or even joy opens the door to being judged or controlled. So they stay quiet. They pretend everything is fine, and they expect others to do the same. But the truth is, vulnerability isn't weakness, it's connection. It's the thing that makes relationships real and allows people to trust each other. Without vulnerability, conversations stay shallow. Teams stay divided, and personal bonds break down. Sigma males might feel powerful for being untouched by emotion, but deep down, many of them are dealing with stress, loneliness, or even depression. They just don't want to talk about it. They'd rather suffer in silence than admit they need someone. That silence doesn't go unnoticed. The people around them feel the distance. They may try to break through it, but if the Sigma male keeps shutting them out, they eventually stop trying. And once that happens, the Sigma male is left truly alone. Not the good kind of alone, but the kind that hurts. Being strong isn't about never needing help. It's about knowing when to ask for it. Being private isn't about shutting people out. It's about choosing who you let in and allowing yourself to trust them. Sigma males who understand that can still live life on their terms without turning their strength into a trap. Thing number 5. How they weaponize self-reliance to reject help or empathy, even when needed. Self-reliance is a core value for Sigma males. They want to prove they can survive, succeed, and thrive without leaning on anyone. But there's a difference between being strong and rejecting help out of pride. Some Sigma males take self-reliance so far that they use it as a weapon. They shut down anyone who offers support. They reject empathy like it's an attack. And they see help as something only weak people accept. This kind of thinking creates real problems. Let's say someone offers emotional support after a tough day. Instead of saying thank you, or even just listening, the Sigma male might respond with cold silence, or something like, "I don't need your sympathy." What he sees as control, others see as rejection. It sends a clear message: I don't need you, and I don't want you to care. That can be painful for the people around him. Friends feel like they're walking on eggshells. Partners feel unwanted. Even family members may feel useless or pushed away. Over time, these people stop offering help. They stop reaching out. And the Sigma male ends up facing every challenge alone, not because no one cares, but because he refused to let anyone care. This also shows up in practical ways. A Sigma male might refuse to ask for advice even when he's clearly stuck. He might avoid therapy, even if he's struggling with mental health. He'll work himself to the point of burnout just to prove he can handle it. All the while he's telling himself it's strength. But really, it's fear of appearing vulnerable. There's also a hidden cost to rejecting empathy. When you don't accept it, you also stop giving it. Sigma males who push away care often struggle to show it to others. They seem cold, uncaring, and emotionally unavailable. This creates shallow connections and distant relationships. People may admire them, but they don't feel close to them. Being self-reliant doesn't mean closing your heart. It doesn't mean shutting the door on people who want to help. It means knowing your limits and having the wisdom to accept support when it's needed. That's real strength, not proving you can survive alone, but knowing you don't have to. Thing number 6. How they romanticize toxic masculinity under the guise of Sigma grindset. In recent years, the idea of the Sigma grindset has become popular online. It's often shown through videos, quotes and memes pushing non-stop work, emotional toughness and complete independence. At first it looks like motivation. But underneath the surface, some of these messages promote toxic behavior, and Sigma males are often the ones used as the face of it. Sigma males are seen as the type who wakes up at 4 a.m., doesn't need friends, never cries, and always stays focused. While there's nothing wrong with discipline or ambition, the problem comes when these traits are twisted into unhealthy extremes. The grindset says rest is weak, emotions are useless, and relationships are distractions. It turns being human into something shameful. This kind of thinking leads people to destroy their mental and physical health. They skip sleep, ignore stress, avoid therapy, and keep everything bottled up, all to live up to a fake image of what a strong man should be. When Sigma males buy into this version of the grindset, they don't just hurt themselves. They spread that pressure to others. Younger men especially get caught up in this mindset. They start thinking that unless they're emotionless machines, they're not strong enough. They copy the behavior of online Sigma figures who brag about working 16-hour days, cutting off friends, and never feeling fear or sadness. That's not strength. That's burnout, isolation, and emotional damage dressed up as confidence. Another danger is how this mindset treats women and relationships. The grindset often teaches that love is weakness, that caring for someone makes you soft. Some even push the idea that women are distractions or enemies to success. This fuels toxic masculinity, the belief that real men must dominate, ignore feelings, and never depend on anyone. Sigma males may not realize it, but when they promote this message, they become part of the problem. True strength isn't about shutting everyone out and working until you break. It's about balance. It's about knowing when to push and when to pause. It's about having goals, but also having people. Sigma males don't need to give up their independence, but they do need to stop pretending that pushing everyone away makes them better. It doesn't. The grindset can be powerful when used with care. Discipline is good. Focus is important. But when it turns into a lifestyle of coldness, exhaustion, and loneliness, it stops being useful. It becomes toxic. And it's time to call that out, not just for Sigma males, but for everyone chasing this dangerous idea of perfection. So what have we learned? Sigma males are often seen as strong, independent, and mysterious. But when taken too far, those same traits can turn into something offensive. They dismiss feelings, avoid responsibility, look down on others, reject teamwork, push away care, and hide behind toxic ideas of strength. These behaviors might feel powerful in the moment, but over time they damage relationships, hurt self-growth, and leave people isolated. This isn't about bashing Sigma males. In fact, many of these traits start from a good place, wanting freedom, wanting peace, wanting control over your own life. But the danger comes when those wants become excuses to hurt others or shut the world out completely. The truth is, no one lives fully alone. Even the most independent person still needs connection, respect, and trust. Strength isn't about being untouchable. It's about knowing who you are, but still being open to change. It's about walking your own path, but not stepping on others to do it. If you see yourself in any of these behaviors, take a moment to think. Are you really being strong, or are you just scared to be seen? Are you protecting your peace, or are you avoiding the hard work of connection? There's nothing wrong with being a Sigma male, as long as you remember that real power comes from growth, not ego. And if you know someone like this, maybe now you understand them a little better. Maybe now you have the words to explain what felt off. Maybe now you can set better boundaries or offer real help. Whatever your place in this story, one thing is clear. Independence doesn't have to be offensive. It's all in how you use it.